بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, we apologize for the technical difficulty, but we'll continue our topic. A woman, may Allah be blessed with her, she said, my husband left some money and he left some kids. Some need some for his school, some get married. How do I do it without upsetting Allah? My dear sister, if the person died, whatever money he has, it is inheritance. It has to be divided on his inheritance according to Allah. You're a wife, you have 1/8, because there's someone who is inheritance, unless the kids had agreed and they said to keep the money in your hand just like it was in their father before, and to put you in charge of their expenditure. That's their decision. But if the person died, then everything had is, unless you are talking about the money that he gave to you in your life. I don't know what money he left in your hand. Is it a gift, or is it's that it became an inheritance? If this is his money and it became inheritance, and Allah has given to everybody his right, you have 1/8. And for the male has double the share of the woman. If that's your money, you're talking about what's your money, that's your decision. But you have to be fair. If it is the atiyah, you have to be justice. If we are an expenditure, we have to give what he needs. When a gift, it has to be equal. Then you look at the justice. This is the majority of scholars, they say to be equal, and the Hanabilas, they say it's what Allah Azza wa Jalla put into the inheritance. With whatever choice you take, alhamdulillah, there is big effort in there. If there is a follow-up in this question for some things like this not explained, please write back to us. A woman is asking, a friend of his friend works in a teller, also the transfer of money, money exchange. Is his money haram? American Muslim Jews of America, they said what is permissible, not permissible, and they looked into places of riba, and their decision is this. Originally, it is not permissible to work in these places, because the Prophet ﷺ, because the one who writes who eats it, they're all the same, unless there is necessity, of course. And then they said that the fiqh committees, they allowed for those who can't find another work to work in a place where it's mixed, as long as he's not doing it himself. And you have to look for something outside the that. So it is allowed to work in the areas that are does not make you writing or held directly or indirectly to the riba. To work in the loans is definitely haram. This is the if you work in the department where you give or take loans, it's forbidden. The other services, hoping there is some ease. If Allah allows him a different work, it'll be better for him. So if the young man and he wants to stay on the path of Allah, you can fix this in the soon. We live in a time that is very tough, and so many jobs that have you have necessities that could lead you to do certain things for a short period of time. So if he's listening to go and listen to apply the rule of Allah, then inshallah Allah will find him a different alternative, a different type of work. Another question, the question is asking, can you work in the renovation of bar in a hotel where there is alcohol served? My role is to do electrical work. My son, if it is a direct work, it's for a nightclub or gambling place or a dancing place or a place that sells alcohol, or make it easy for them, definitely this is in helping on the evil and wrongdoing. So remember, Allah said to help each other on the good and piety, but do not work on or help each other into evil and aggression. It's not allowed for the construction to build where the evil is allowed or done, like gambling, the bar, the selling of alcohol, or the places where it's worship for non-Islamic places. The decision is long. It has a rest, but has nothing to do with your part. So I just wanted to put the part that concerns you. May Allah make it easy for you for something different, and remember, whatever you live for Allah, Allah will replace him something better. So we go back to the question. We have maybe the answer did not get to the lady who asked earlier about the first question because of technical problem. Her husband ما وصل أنا ما كيف صوت. The question, my husband left money and he left me kids, some who needs money to spend for his school and some need it for his marriage. So how do I do it? How do I work so I don't upset Allah? we say, oh sister, the we have to know what is this money that you have. Is this all the money that your husband left? Because if it is, that's considered an inheritance, and your share of it is 1/8, and the rest had to be divided among the others, where the male get the double the share of the woman. So the kids, they get their rightful share that Allah Azza wa Jal has declared for them. So if you're talking about that money that he left for them, then this one has to go through the Surah. But unless all the kids had agreed to leave that money for their mom, for you, so you could make the expenditure on them, just like their dad used to spend his money. If they accepted, no problem. And you are fulfilling the things that they had all agreed on. But if that money is your money, that he gave it to you in a correct way during his life, then that's your money and your decision, and you can spend it with whatever is accepted by Allah on yourself, and you can give anything you want to your kids. Now, if you are about to spend on them, give whatever is needed. If it is just to give, then you have to be just and fair in giving it. The expenditure is what they need, but the hiba, the gift, it has to be equal for each one. When you have a small kid, you give him 100 jannah to buy him a small toy, but another child who's at he is required maybe 100,000 jannah for his car, you give him what he needs and give the other one what he needs. That's fairness. But if we are not talking about the expenditure, you have to be just, because the Prophet ﷺ said, fear Allah and be just between your sons. What is the saying for that is equality. Because this is some Hanabila, for example, and for both school of thoughts, they have good points. So whatever you take, inshallah, is an open issue. A very amazing question from Michigan, which I really have special status for it. But anyway, it says a lot of youth explain the ayah, and for those who cannot ordain it, then to feed the needy. But for those who wants to fast, but if you don't want, they need to pay the fidya, and it's over with. And we tell them that this ayah is mansukha and it came in the beginning of the fasting. We tell them whoever witnessed the month, they look at the one, and we have said 12 young people in Michigan, they are stubborn on their own opinion. So how do we deal with them with the Hujjah and Burhan, the proof? Believe me, with my long stay in this state, this is the first time I hear someone asking this way. He's saying something never been asked before. I didn't see it in any place. the all right and left, back and forth. It's part of fasting, and this is something called the proof of the ijma'. The companions, they were proof. They are also in the meaning. So what they have agreed on the meaning, it is the truth. And when you know, all young person, that all the ummah has agreed to that meaning, and you come in and tell me you think Allah Azza wa Jal, that He made this whole ummah, He made them not see. Till you came in from Michigan to correct what you think is Allah's grace. Never. And the Shaykh mentioned so many of the explain. You think this ayah, Allah has made everybody and put them all astray in one of the principal issues of you think, my son, that just you imagine about the effort, my son. The shaitan is this whispering to you to keep you away from the path of Allah, so you will not be with the carnival. I don't know anyone in the Islamic world you think Allah has put astray everybody. Is this a good thinking for Allah Azza wa Jal or your religion? Or is this the wrong thinking about Allah Azza wa Jal and in the nation? Repent to Allah Azza wa Jal, because this saying is wrong. We ask Allah to bring you together. Ameen. Ameen. You know, it is better to fast intentionally in Fitr than to if you did that and whoever died and he didn't repent from his sins, then his matter is to Allah. This is from the shaitan. It's not just a sin. You know, and Allah is saying, don't eat from what Allah's name is not mentioned, and it is disobedience, and the shaitan, they are inspired to their allies to change, and if you did, then you are partners with Allah. First they said to Quraysh, fight Muhammad and say to him, how could we eat what we kill with and not eat what Allah killed himself? The dead Allah killed by himself. And this you killed this one with your own metal. So how could you Allah eat what you slaughtered, not what Allah has killed himself? This is a beauty of talk, and they debated falsehood to hide the truth. So Allah took them. How was the punishment? So Allah descended that the devils, they are inspired to their sins, and don't obey them, because if you did, then you are mushrikeen. Is the eating of the meat is shirk? No, it is a ma'siyah. What did Allah say? If you have obeyed them, you are a mushrikun.
عن تغيير الاعتقاد، عن الطاعة في الاعتقاد، عن تحليل الحرام، عن تشريع ما لم يأذن به الله، أنهم شركاء شرعوا لهم من الدين ما لم يأذن به الله، ولا تقولوا لما تصف.
So don't say to what your tongue describe as this is halal haram. So you could, for those who does that, are not going to succeed. This is what I have, my brother, inshallah. I hope you have heard this beautiful time. I mean, the question, someone gave me some money, second investment in the food business 3 weeks months ago. The problem I gave the rule, my brother, the aqd of you have to find a way to you use the money to get to gather two people with expertise. Some they have the experience, don't have the money. So the Sharia comes in the middle to put the money, get part of that money, the profit on what they have agreed on. It can't be something already cut or something that's added to the principle. Part of the profit, which is 1/3, 1/5, and 10th. If you give more than when asked, so the advice to get your profits and your calculations, and then if what you have taken true, then alhamdulillah. If there's extra, then alhamdulillah. If there's less what you deserve, you have to do what you best to give him what you deserve. A question: is it a part to say Surah Al-A'la and no, not any surah except Al-Fatiha. You have to read Al-Fatiha. Anything beyond that is nafila. But the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ to read Al-A'la and Al-Ghashiyah. But that's not a condition for but here we have a very important issue. Just because it's sunnah does not mean that we need to neglect it. No. One of these scholars used to say, people in the past used to work something because it is sunnah. Now we leave the part because we know it's sunnah. What is recommended is recommended, what's forbidden, forbidden. Not like. Allah made for everything a destination. What is the rule for raising the the sound with the bigger or better than this, my son, to make his tasbih. He had a problem with his fast. Let him make tasbih. And let the woman gather. Subhanallah is for men, and the glory and the tasbih is for the men. This is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So whoever Amen. The wife, I can't take care of her because of her yelling and high voice. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give you patience and to help you with your wife and to protect her and guide her, inshallah. And this is something I would like to tell you through the internet. Even though there is nothing in the electronic, but one of the previous people used to say, I used to know my how close I am to my Allah through my relationship with my wife. So ask Allah's forgiveness. Allah will not send it to you. That does not mean that we allow the woman to be bad to her husband. No. If she did, and what the man says,
لكي يلبسه مضرتان فإذا لبسها رأت الأمور بعينيه ورعاها بعقله فإن صح يسري.
So if it is true what you said, she looks like she have same. She is wrong in what she's doing. And whomever her husband slept or angry, the angels will be angry at her, making dua against her. And she needs to wake up immediately to get closer to him, to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. Any woman, she prayed her obligations and fasted her month, protected her private parts, she will be told, go enter Jannah any of the 8 gates you want. The woman preparing herself for her husband is equal to preparing the army and the charity, all the goodness that the public want, that the men enjoy outside the household. So fear Allah Azza wa Jal and ask for forgiveness at all times. And know that Allah has, and let those who change away from that, they will have a stray or they have a bad punishment, painful punishment. Alhamdulillah. Ameen. Is it allowed for the Imam to recite that after prayer to so people could learn? Yes, it is allowed, and educating people is allowed more than what people know. Of course, you make it loud so you could teach them what to do. When people learn, then you don't make it loud. A question here. Maybe he's at last, depends on time. Someone has a place for sewing machines, and someone wants to make something for him, and that
ولا لا؟
for tattoos.
يا ولدي
My son,
اولا انا احيي بكم انت شاب
I love it that you are young, that stress on knowing what's permissible or forbidden. But I tell you, my son, that it is from the kabair of Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal has cursed the Washima and those, and Allah said, you are helping on evil. So leave that job and find another job. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal with His to replace you something better than that. And be sure, whoever left something to Allah, Allah will give him something better. Ameen. 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 Allah يشفينا الصفر كتب الحمد لله. أن يجمعنا دائما على محبته يوم القيامة ذلك وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وسلم.